In the whimsical land of YouTube, there was an average Joe named Jim Bob. Our friend Jim Bob, a jovial soul with a twinkle in his eye and a laptop in his lap, was your quintessential underdog. He didn't come from a world of glitz and glamour, nor did he have an arsenal of high-tech equipment. Heck, he didn't even have a particularly good sense of rhythm, but what he did have were dreams and determination. Now picture this. A young Jim Bob hunched over his laptop, a glimmer of hope in his eyes as he uploads his first video. It's a dancing video, and let's just say that if dancing were a language, Jim Bob was speaking it with a heavy, and I mean heavy, accent. But he didn't let that stop him. He danced like no one was watching, which for a while was quite accurate. And so Jim Bob's YouTube journey began, a journey marked by more downs than ups. His videos were met with silence, a silence so loud it could make a mime uncomfortable. His subscriber count was stuck in single digits, and the only comments on his videos were tumbleweeds rolling across the barren landscape of his engagement section. But Jim Bob was not a man to be deterred. He was made of sterner stuff. He was like one of those rubber balls that no matter how hard you throw it against the wall just keeps bouncing back. So he decided to shake things up a bit. Out came the experimental content, a cocktail of the absurd, the hilarious, and the downright peculiar. There were videos of him doing stand-up comedy for his plants, cooking shows where the main ingredient was always cheese, and let's not forget the unforgettable Life from Fido's Perspective series. Yes, you heard it right. Jim Bob strapped a camera to his dog's back and let the canine charisma do the rest. The results were as unpredictable as they were entertaining. Fido's frolicking adventures brought a spark of joy to the few who stumbled upon Jim Bob's channel. But did Jim Bob let that discourage him? Absolutely not. His journey was just beginning, and he was ready to dance, stumble, and bounce his way to the top. Our brave protagonist decided to try something new, strapping a camera to his dog's back. Fido, a scruffy terrier with a sniffer for adventure, became the unlikely star of Jim Bob's channel. Thus, the Day in the Life of Fido series was born, opening a new chapter in our creator's journey. Fido was no ordinary dog. He was a canine with a zest for life and a nose for trouble. His daily escapades ranged from chasing his own tail in the living room to digging up the neighbor's prized tulips. Each day brought a new adventure, and with it, a new video for Jim Bob's channel. One of Fido's most memorable adventures took place at the local park. Picture this: a sunny day, children playing, and Fido on the prowl for fun. Spotting a squirrel, Fido embarked on a wild chase, zipping past the swings and darting under the slide, with the camera capturing every hilarious moment. The squirrel escaped, but Fido's pursuit left viewers in stitches. Another favorite was Fido's encounter with a garden hose. The curious terrier found himself in a watery showdown, snapping and growling at the elusive stream of water. Each time Fido tried to seize the water in his jaws, it would slip away, leading to a wet and wild spectacle that had viewers laughing out loud. But it wasn't just Fido's antics that drew in the crowds. It was the unscripted, authentic nature of these videos that resonated with viewers. The videos were raw, real, and downright hilarious. It was like peeking through a window into a dog's life, complete with all its comedic twists and turns. The Day in the Life of Fido series became a hit. With each new video, more and more people flocked to Jim Bob's channel, eager to see what Fido would get up to next. The comments section was teeming with laughter, praise, and countless requests for more Fido content. And so Fido's adventures captivated audiences like a sizzling piece of bacon. Jim Bob's channel was no longer just a platform for his comedic skits. It had become a hub for laughter, joy, and the daily shenanigans of a scruffy terrier named Fido. Finally, the day arrived when Jim Bob's fortunes took a turn for the better. It was a stormy Tuesday afternoon, and as luck would have it, Fido's video of his encounter with a particularly aggressive squirrel went viral. The internet was set ablaze, and not just because someone tried to microwave a tin can. No, this was all about Fido's fearless pursuit of the nutty creature. The video was a masterclass in suspense, humor, and unscripted chaos. Fido, our canine hero, was seen darting around the park, his eyes locked on the squirrel with the same intensity as a kid eyeing the last slice of pizza. The squirrel, on the other hand, was having none of it and led Fido on a wild chase that would make even a Hollywood car chase look tame. The squirrel scampered up trees, leapt over park benches, and even made a daring dash across the duck pond. But Fido, bless his heart, never lost sight of his fluffy-tailed nemesis, the grand finale. An epic showdown at the top of the slide where Fido, ever the optimist, attempted to climb up the slide only to hilariously slide back down, much to the delight of the audience. And just like that, the internet lost its collective mind. The video was shared, liked, and retweeted faster than a hot gossip in a small town. Comment sections were flooded with laughter emojis and declarations of Fido being the best thing since sliced bread. Jim Bob's subscriber count shot up like a rocket, leaving him feeling like a kid who just discovered that Santa is indeed real. Overnight, Jim Bob went from being a struggling creator to a YouTube sensation. His inbox was flooded with congratulatory messages, interview requests, and even a dubious offer of making Fido the face of a nut company. But amidst all the frenzy, one thing was clear. Jim Bob's subscriber count skyrocketed faster than a binge eater chasing an ice cream truck. Now, this newfound popularity didn't come without its fair share of challenges. Just like a freshly baked pie attracts flies, Jim Bob's viral success brought about a swarm of eager viewers, each with their own peculiar requests. The demand for more Fido content was as insatiable as a dog at a steak buffet. Jim Bob's inbox was flooded with messages, all clamoring for more of Fido's antics. There were requests for Fido's fine dining, featuring our four-legged star attempting to eat with cutlery. Some demanded Fido's fitness frenzy, where Fido would presumably be put through a rigorous workout routine, complete with sweatbands and leg warmers. And let's not forget the impassioned pleas for Fido's deep philosophical thoughts, which would involve Fido staring contemplatively at a fire hydrant. The pressure was immense. Jim Bob felt like a juggler in a circus, except instead of juggling balls, he was juggling flaming torches, swords, and live porcupines. The line between creativity and absurdity was becoming increasingly blurry. But amidst this chaos, Jim Bob never lost sight of his original goal, to entertain and connect with his audience. He understood that while Fido was a beloved part of the channel, he was not the only star of the show. After all, it was Jim Bob's humor, creativity, and inexplicably bad dancing that had initially drawn people in. So he decided to strike a balance. Yes, there would be more Fido content, but there would also be more of Jim Bob's signature skits, his unique take on everyday situations, and of course, his endearing dance-offs with inanimate objects. In the grand circus of YouTube, Jim Bob was not just a juggler. He was the ringmaster, the clown, and the tightrope walker all rolled into one. He understood that his channel was a variety show, and he was going to keep his audience entertained, one bad dad joke and dog video at a time. But Jim Bob knew better than to put all his dog biscuits in one bowl. He knew the importance of diversifying his content, and that's exactly what he set out to do. Armed with resilience and a vivid imagination, Jim Bob started experimenting with different skits and challenges. Yes, our Jim Bob was as fearless as a cat facing a cucumber, diving into new territories with the grace of a penguin on a slip and slide. He knew that true creativity was not about sticking to the tried and tested, but about exploring the uncharted, even if it meant dancing like no one was watching, or like everyone was watching and he didn't care. And so, the great dance-off saga began. Jim Bob threw himself into interpretive dance videos, creating a spectacle that had viewers equal parts entertained and confused. One memorable video, titled Toilet Brush Tango, featured Jim Bob using a toilet brush as his dance partner. The sight of him twirling around performing the Macarena with such an unconventional partner was as hilarious as it was bizarre. Jim Bob's fearless creativity, his willingness to embrace the outlandish, became his signature style. One video even featured him doing the Macarena with a toilet brush. Looking back at his journey, Jim Bob realized he'd learned a thing or two. He understood that the road to YouTube stardom was paved with authenticity. Like a jigsaw puzzle, every piece of content he created was a reflection of his unique personality, from his quirky dance moves to Fido's adventurous spirit. Jim Bob also found that consistency was key. It was like keeping a date with your audience, showing up on time every time with something that would make them laugh, think, or simply smile. And even when the going got tough, Jim Bob kept going because the show, as they say, must go on. Furthermore, he discovered the power of engagement. He responded to comments, threw in a joke or two, and showed his audience that behind the screen, there was a real person just like them. And that, dear viewers, is the story of Jim Bob, the jovial YouTube creator who danced his way into our hearts.